Have you ever just stopped and wondered, what is all this stuff really made of? And I mean everything. You, the air you're breathing, the ground beneath your feet. Well, today, we're going on this incredible journey. We're going to zoom in way past what our eyes can see to find the tiny fundamental building blocks of, well, the entire universe. So, let's dive in.
Right. So that's the big question, isn't it? What is all this stuff? I mean, think about it. It seems so incredibly different, right? A glass of water is nothing like a star burning billions of miles away. But what if I told you that it's all built from the exact same handful of tiny little pieces, just, snapped together in different ways?
To even begin to answer that, we need a word for all the physical stuff. Everything you can touch, see, or interact with. And that word is matter.
Yep, matter. It's basically the stuff of the universe. And here's the kicker. It's all made of these unimaginably tiny little things called atoms. They link up in countless different ways to create literally every single substance we know.
Okay, so to really wrap our heads around this, we're going to do something I like to call a cosmic zoom in. We're just going to take a totally normal, everyday object, and we're going to magnify it again and again and again, peeling back the layers of reality one by one.
And our subject for this journey, a simple piece of paper. Yeah, that's it. To us, it looks solid, it feels smooth. But as you're about to see, that smoothness is really just an illusion.
All right, let's make our first jump. We zoom in and bam! The paper reveals its true self. It's not smooth at all. It's this tangled web of tiny little cellulose fibers. And we're already at a scale of about 1/1000th of a millimeter. Way, way smaller than you can see with your own eyes.
But you know what? We're not even close to being done. Let's crank that magnification way up. See? Each one of those fibers, it's actually a bundle itself. A long chain made of thousands and thousands of even smaller things called molecules.
And there it is. We're looking at a single molecule of cellulose. So what's a molecule? It's really just a group of two or more atoms that are all bonded together. This one right here is built from a few different kinds of atoms, carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen, all linked up like a tiny little charm bracelet. So, naturally, this brings us to the next big question, right? We've gone from paper to fibers to molecules. What are the molecules themselves made of? Well, get ready because we are about to enter the atomic realm.
All right, here we go. Next stop on our deep dive, the atom. This is it, the fundamental building block of every single element in the entire universe.
And the scale here, it's just staggering. I mean, forget that paper fiber for a second. Think about a single grain of sand, a tiny little grain of sand. It contains trillions of atoms. That number is so huge, our brains can't really even process it. Now, this is where things get truly, truly mind-bending. Check out this analogy, it's fantastic. If you could somehow blow up a single atom to the size of a giant football stadium, the nucleus, the very heart of the atom, would be no bigger than a single marble sitting on the 50-yard line. The electrons, they'd be like tiny specks of dust flying around way up in the nosebleed seats. Just think about that. So what does that mean? It means that the atoms that make you, and me, and this entire solid planet, they're almost entirely empty space. The feeling of solidity, the fact that you don't fall through your chair, that's just an illusion created by invisible forces pushing between all those tiny particles. Okay, so if pretty much all the stuff, all the mass is packed into that tiny little marble at the center of our stadium, what exactly is that marble? Let's go in for one final zoom.
Welcome to the subatomic world. We are now officially going inside the nucleus of the atom.
This little ladder here breaks it down perfectly. Look, we started with the atom. That atom has a nucleus with electrons whizzing around it, okay? Then we look inside that nucleus and we find protons and neutrons. And unbelievably, it doesn't stop there. We can go one step deeper, down to things called quarks. So let's zero in on that nucleus. It's just this super dense cluster of two kinds of particles. You've got protons, which have a positive charge, and then you have neutrons, which are, well, neutral. They have no charge at all. And almost all of an atom's weight, its mass, is packed right into this tiny little space.
And this, my friends, is where our journey inward ends. For now anyway. As far as modern physics can tell us, these are the most fundamental particles there are.
Every single proton and every single neutron is actually made of a little group of 3 even tinier particles, and they're called quarks.
Okay, we've hit rock bottom in the best possible way. So now, let's hit rewind. We're going to zoom back out and see how all these tiny little pieces build back up to become, well, everything.
And here it is, the cosmic recipe for, well, reality itself. It's actually pretty simple. You start with quarks. They combine to make protons and neutrons. Those protons and neutrons form the nucleus of an atom. The atoms then bond together to create molecules. And then, those molecules build everything. Everything you see, everything you touch, everything you are. Paper, planets, people. It's all the same recipe.
I mean, that's just an amazing thought, isn't it? From the most distant star you can see in the night sky to the ground you're standing on right now, it is all made of the exact same stuff. And that, of course, means that you are made from the very same fundamental particles as everything else in the entire cosmos.
So, if everything in the universe, and that includes us, is really just a temporary arrangement of this fundamental stardust, it leaves us with a pretty deep question, doesn't it? Knowing what we're all made of, what do we choose to build with it next?